What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cal Crypto here, bringing you another cryptocurrency video from snowy Denver, Colorado today. What a perfect day to chill inside and look at what's going on. We have an all-time high for Bitcoin. We are officially at currently $60,966. That is on Bybit. It's probably a little bit lower on Coinbase, around 60,800. However, we hit 62. What a day, guys. I woke up this morning at 5 and I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, I could, but I was honestly scared a little bit of a double top, and man, was I wrong. This cup and handle formation we talked about, it just blew up. I mean, once it broke right here, you can see like volume was good. We just blasted through the all-time high. We were facing resistance at 58,200, zoomed through that. Even Ethereum broke its little bull flag we talked about, and it's going up and up. So today's video, guys, is going to be on, why we can assume some of these things are happening. I know that people are probably feeling very euphoric right now. Altcoins are up, everything's green. But there's reasons for these price movements, guys, and we'll dive into that today. But really quickly, obviously, we talked about the chart. It is breaking out, and I am looking at the like $72,000 level. So I think that Bitcoin will go potentially up to these levels before we see a pullback. This seems extremely likely to me, guys. With all the news we've seen, it just makes sense. I think Bitcoin was already evaluated at 100,000, almost a month ago based on what news we got, but it's going to take time to get there, and that's okay. Now, if you're worried about buying right now, I wouldn't necessarily be worried because we just broke all-time highs. Statistically speaking, when we break all-time highs, we go way up. I mean, we've seen percentage gains of 20, 30%, just like our pullbacks of 20, 30%. So you can wait to see if this cools down, or you can try and get in now and, catch this ride, because, guys, I don't think we're slowing down anytime soon. If you've been watching all my videos, we're in a bull market. The trend is your friend. As you can see, we have bounced off this 21-day moving average almost 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. This thing's reliable support, guys. And until it breaks through that, like it did back here, I'm bullish. I mean, that's just what it's saying to me. I'm bullish. So it's going to be a really, really interesting next few days. I don't think we're going to be disappointed at all. I think Ethereum is headed the same way. It broke this bull flag. It didn't get crazy amounts of volume, but I think we'll see a steady increase like we did back here, from the $1,700 level to the all-time highs of almost 2040. So we just got to keep our eyes peeled. But let's dive into the news and why this is happening right now. So CNBC, they always post a new article on why Bitcoin hits a new record every single time, even though when they talk about it on Squawk Box or Money Talk or Fast Money, it's like they don't understand why Bitcoin's going up, but it's so evidently clear to everyone else. So they just talk about how much it's up this year, 570% higher over the last 12 months. It talks about how it, surpassed $1 trillion market cap for the second time. But this is what's really interesting, like this is kind of what I was talking about, is they wonder, I don't know why it looks like this, guys, but they wonder why these things are happening. But it's simple. MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, BY Mellon, MicroStrategy, Tesla, Mass Mutual. I mean, it's very obvious why these things happen the way they do. And there's a reason why the price is going up. So keep in mind that, people will tell you many reasons why Bitcoin's going up, but at the end of the day, guys, it's supply and demand. And the reason why there's demand is because of rapid money printing. And I'm going to show you guys a crazy chart later that's actually going to blow your mind if you've never seen it before. Rapid money printing, modern money theory, and just the irresponsible nature of the Fed and central planners on what they do with our money. That's why Bitcoin's going up. You're going to see you're going to see inflation on food, gas. I already know here in Denver, I've seen gas go up almost like $1 since 2 months ago. And that's just because as consumers get out in the market and start spending more money, you're going to see that inflation rise and rise and rise as people have more confidence that the economy is going to come back. So this is the reason why we're seeing all this demand for Bitcoin. And I personally believe, guys, as stimulus, goes into people's bank accounts starting tomorrow, you're going to see that flow into cryptocurrency. I'm not saying, it's all going to cryptocurrency and this and that, but you're going to see some of that money allocated to cryptocurrency because people see, hey, if I spent my stimulus check back in April on Bitcoin, I would be up almost 900%. I wonder what would happen if I did it this time. So people are starting to put two and two together, but it just goes into how they think this rally is fueled by institutional investors, which it is. Talks about how it lost 80% of its value in 2017. And you still have that argument that there's no intrinsic value, and they could be fueling this Bitcoin bubble with the stimulus market, going insane. And you're always going to have these contrarian opinions, but if we can get this to play, guys, I really want to show you this clip. This is Anthony Pompliano. He's awesome. He's a Bitcoin bull. Obviously, he's a little biased like me, but he has his bias for a reason. So let's check out this video. Tell me what you guys think.
Why are companies doing this?
Listen, Bitcoin is the apex predator of financial markets. You've got digital sound money that's grown at a compound annual growth rate of 200% for a decade. And if you're sitting there and you manage a treasury, you've got cash on your balance sheet, you tell me where else you're going to put it where you can get that type of growth. 200% compound annual growth rate for a decade. There's nowhere else for them to put it. We're printing an unprecedented amount of money. And so they're looking for a safe haven, and Bitcoin is that apex predator that everyone is concluding is the answer.
Well, it sounds great then. Calacanis, why do you say on Twitter, hey, imaginary money man, when I said that you guys were both going to be here? Is that what Bitcoin is?
Well, obviously it's imaginary money, but and to a certain extent, all money is imaginary, except the U.S. dollar has the world's greatest army and economy behind it. So there are some things to the American dollar that have a slight advantage in the military bases we've placed around the world for the last 200 years, and the fact that we own the world's greatest companies. I do think it's a very real technology that's combined with massive market manipulation, speculation. And so for somebody like Pomp, who's got, I think, Pomp, correct me if I'm wrong, you have 90% of your net worth in Bitcoin. This is a religion, and it's a bit crazy. For a company to have some of their corporate treasury in cryptocurrency isn't crazy. I would keep it at a small amount. I would be very careful that you don't need that. So I wouldn't put 100% or 90% of your treasury like Pomp has done. But Pomp's you're a 30-year-old guy with no kids, and you don't have to, worry about it. So just be very careful out there, folks, because there is a decent chance that another technology will emerge that is better than Bitcoin. And when that happens, you could see just as easily as people poured speculative money into cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin specifically, you can see the flows go out of it. So just be careful that, this very real technology, which is highly manipulated and highly speculative, you don't become the person left holding the bag.
Go ahead, Pomp. I mean, I'm getting out of the way. I know you want to get in.
Listen,
Go ahead, Pomp.
Listen, it's hysterical that Jason's talking about manipulated markets. We have a Federal Reserve and elected officials who have outlawed bear markets. If you're in the stock market and the market starts to correct, they step in and they just pump liquidity into the market. This is insane. If you want to talk about a manipulated market, let's talk about the stock market. We saw China today started to enter into their market as well. We can't have markets that aren't allowed to correct. And so what we're watching is investors are racing to find an asset where they can go that is an unmanipulated, transparent, programmatic asset. And Bitcoin serves that purpose, right?
Bitcoin's
think
not
about it this way,
manipulated.
right? The monetary policy of Bitcoin is as transparent and programmatic as they come. I can tell you exactly how much Bitcoin. Nobody can tell me how many dollars were printed today, how many dollars were taken out of circulation. Nobody knows. The system isn't transparent. It's completely, we're just watching the Federal Reserve and elected officials pump liquidity into a market, and they have outlawed bear markets. That's not how markets are supposed to work. What Bitcoin provides is a transparent, programmatic monetary policy that no one in the world controls. And investors have had enough, and they are going to seek refuge in something that cannot be changed by at the whim of a government, an organization, or an individual. And
Guys, I mean, all you have to see is what's on the screen, you know, and I understand both sides to this argument, but at the end of the day, it's like Pompliano can bring facts. This guy, a lot of naysayers speak on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and they don't actually understand what it is. So it's like, I would love to see an argument from an educated individual from the other side. Then give me devil's advocate. But until then, just stay out of these arguments that you don't have a place in, because this guy doesn't understand Bitcoin. And it's clear, but it's like, yet he's still telling treasuries to use Bitcoin. So you're just going to see like the bandwagoners fly into this market, and they're not going to know anything about cryptocurrency, and they're going to fly in. But that's okay, because that's how these things naturally work. Let's move on. I just thought that was a really interesting debate on someone who knows fiscal policy and someone who does know fiscal policy, and yet, you know, they have two different viewpoints about it. So next one, guys, Bitcoin's price hit 60K after bulls pushed through a key resistance. We talked about this, 58,200. We pushed through it. We're pumping. It shows that a lot of analysts are viewing the $72,000 level, then to 100,000. And the reason is, guys, and I'll make this really quick, there is a on-chain piece of data that basically shows what percentage of Bitcoin is going to holders. So like people who are actually holding, storing Bitcoin away, believe in its purpose, know where it's going. And it shows that usually at the top, we are seeing 95% on the realized cap hodl waves. We're currently at 82. So what this means is that most of the Bitcoin that's being sold by people who are quick investors, and then they sell it, or they get scared, or they take profits, is moving to stronger hands. So when people say we're at the top, like, I don't see how we're at the top. It makes zero sense. And I'll just keep proving that more and more in this video. It shows how these analysts have price targets of 72 and 100. And that's not outrageous, guys. It gets more and more realistic every day. So you can see crypto quant, this is all on-chain data. And guys, when I say on-chain data, all I mean is that it's data that is recorded on the blockchain, aggregated together, and then shown in a format. So this shows how all exchanges are losing Bitcoin. So back here in, you can see back here in March of 2020, exchanges had roughly around 3 million. It kept declining, 2.7, 2.6. We met this crossroads. And as price started to boom, exchanges lost more and more Bitcoin. So you can see it's steadily declined to 2.4 million. Now it's at around 2.3. That's the liquid Bitcoin on exchanges. This is going to keep going down as price keeps going up. And I wouldn't be surprised, since this last update was at 57K, if that's gone down even more. Because people are saying, I don't want to give you this. No one's going to buy this from me. This is mine. Goodbye. Never selling it. Another reason, guys, why we're at currently $61,000. Willy Woo, if you guys aren't familiar with Willy Woo, he posts really, really interesting like on-chain data analytics, and he posted this from Glassnode. This shows basically the amount of Bitcoin that is locked away at certain price points. And what's interesting is so many were locked away, almost, you know, an insane amount at, you know, $3,000. And then you can see how he's basically saying that there's the validation of a $60,000 Bitcoin because investors are moving these coins to hard wallets very, very quickly at this price point, meaning they're expecting the price to go higher, and or they're not expecting to sell anytime soon. So you can see we had a pretty high amount of Bitcoin flowing into cold storage at around, you know, 57, 58,000. And now it's really peaking again at the $60,000 level. So just another validation that we're not even close to the top, guys. And finally, to end the video, this is insane. The M1 money supply. We talked about the M2 money supply. M1 money supply is just the highly liquid money in the system, cashier checks, checking accounts, cash, whatever. And guys, we have gone parabolic. Talk about to the moon. This is gone to Mars. I mean, we are gone. I mean, from July. Oh, and they discontinued this, by the way. This is no longer being published. I found another chart that they directed me to that I guess they're going to be updating, but this one, I mean, this is crazy, guys. Just look. And this is in billions of dollars. So, you know, we're at 1.3 thousand billions. And, you know, which is 3.9 trillion right here, right? November 11th, 2019. And it just goes all the way to a staggering, I mean, this is, guys, this is almost our GDP every year. The American GDP, I think, is 22 trillion. It just keeps going up, guys. And this was published in February. This doesn't even account for the stimulus that was just published. Guys, if this doesn't paint a very clear picture, I mean, this is the new one they're directing people to, but it only goes to January. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe they're going to be publishing it month by month or quarter by quarter. This is outrageous, guys. 3.6 trillion to 18 trillion. I mean, that's bad. It's not good. This is why Bitcoin's going up. This is why it's going to continue to go up, because the average person is catching on to this stuff. I mean, this is a parabolic line. This line goes straight up. And they talk about bubbles. They talk about Bitcoin being a bubble that's too parabolic. And this is the definition of the ultimate stimulus bubble. So take it for what you guys will. Let me know what you think in the comments. And guys, that's all I've got today. Bitcoin's still going higher. Ethereum's still going higher. So all the holders out there, congratulations. You deserve it. I'm sure you've gotten ridiculed in the past, but you know what? It paid off, right? So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for your time. Until next time, guys, Cal Crypto is